Welcome back to the channel, guys and gals. This is Don over Don's Tattooz Garage. I've got a quick update, little bench update going on. Working on the Cal Drag combo, that Galaxy and Falcon. Comes with a trailer. Anyway, had to do some work on the steering column because that Galaxy steering wheel was all the way up against the dash. Did not like that, so we'll take a look at what I did in this bench update. Plus, I have a tattoo story, so hang on a minute, we'll get into it. All right, everybody, let's take a look at what I'm doing to fix this little issue I've got. That wheel sits way too close to that dash on this Cal Drag combo. So, gotta fix that. What I've done, like I said, this is gonna be a quick video. I'm gonna have a tattoo story, so make sure you hang on for that. So, I took a piece of sprue. This piece here, coming this way, fits the dashboard perfectly. So it'll be the new part of the extended column. What I've done at the end here, see if I can get this to focus. I cut a little notch at the very end just to make a tab sticking off there. That is about perfect for, put this on there, the wheel. So now, I do have more of a steering column. Now I can adjust the ride height, so to speak, of that column. It'll sit away from that dash far enough, and it'll look better, a little more realistic, hopefully. And what I plan on doing in this little gap right here, I don't know if this is gonna focus, but there's a nice little gap right there. And instead of trying to cut down that little tab sticking off the end of there, that little nipple, I am going to sand on it just a touch, and if that little gap doesn't come together, I'll put some UV resin in there, harden it up, and then once you paint it, you won't even notice it. So that's the plans, guys and gals. Stay tuned. I am going to get a tattoo story queued up for you. And as you can see, I got the Cal Drag combo going along pretty good. Haven't done a video on the video update on the Comet since the first one. The Comet, it's not a Comet, it's a Falcon, dummy. Anyway, I keep calling it Comet for some reason. Anyway, the Falcon back here, I did one update on it, but I'm not going to show any more on it today. This is just a quick one on this Galaxy part of it. All right, everybody, let's get into this tattoo story. Got my Java juice. We're going to tell a story. This all happened, well, part of it happened in Alabama at my first tattoo studio I owned. And then the celebrity story on this one happened up here in Arkansas in a little town called Searcy, where I opened my tattoo shop in 1995. Anyway, first story is, if you remember the last tattoo story, if you watched, I was talking about a snake I had in a TV, old console TV enclosure I'd made. Well, tattoo studio down in Montgomery, Alabama was about 2 blocks from some of the most notorious projects in the city, if you know what I mean. Anyway, had a few gangbangers coming in the studio getting tattooed. I didn't mind them coming in because they like spending that green, so it was all good. Anyway, one of them went to the bathroom one time, seen that snake come out. He said, "What's with that big old snake in the back there?" I told him, I said, "That's my watchdog." And they said, "What?" I said, "It's my watchdog." "What you mean?" I said, "I turn her out at night. No rats, no problems." He just looked at me like I was crazy. And I said, "Well, you know, makes for a good watchdog." "Well, how do you get that snake back in the cage?" I said, "I know where she likes to hang out." "Man, you crazy." Well, hey, it worked. Didn't have a problem one the whole time I was in Montgomery, Alabama. Anyway, next story, celebrity story. I had hold on, let me back up a second. I forgot part of the story for Alabama. When I was in Alabama, I was actually in the military, in the Air Force back then, and we got to go down to the beach every now and then for some temporary duty, which more or less was a vacation, but I ain't gonna complain, had a good time. Anyways, in Panama City Beach, got a tattoo, went into the tattoo shop, was hanging out, and the owner of the tattoo shop, his name was Adam West. And if you're old enough, that name might ring a bell. Anyway, that was the original actor name who played Batman back in the 60s. Anyway, Adam West, this guy was a biker, not an actor. Good dude, funny. I got a tattoo from him. It hurt like heck because he knew I was a tattoo artist, so he used a single needle. If you've ever been tattooed with a single needle liner, it feels like a razor blade going across your skin. Anyway, I survived, got a neat little tattoo out of the deal, and got to hear a funny story from Adam. Anyway, he was at work one day, was talking about this kid showed up. Man, you need to hire me. He's like, why do I need to hire you? He said, man, I can draw anything. I can blow it up. I can make it smaller. Adam said, I got one word for you, kid. Xerox. And then again, if you're old enough, you know what Xerox means, but he was talking about a copy machine. Anyway, I found that story hilarious at the time. But anyway, celebrity tattoo. I told one about tattooing a comedian that had been on Def Comedy Jam. Well, when I was in Searcy, there's a college in town, Harding University, Division II school, pretty decent football team most years. And one of the guys on the team ended up being an All-American, Division II All-American linebacker, Tank Daniels. Well, I tattooed Tank a few times, got to be friends with him. After school, he ended up in the NFL, went to the Eagles. First year, got traded off to the Giants. Happened to be 07 when the Giants won the Super Bowl. Tank come back, got another tattoo. I ended up getting to put his Super Bowl ring on my thumb and taking a picture of it, which I have on my computer somewhere. And man, big ring. But Tank, good dude. He played with the Giants, went back to the Eagles. Then he got out of the NFL and ended up in the UFL. Last I heard, he had a neck injury, so he's not playing no more, but that was many years ago. So hadn't talked to Tank in a long time, but he did buy me tickets one time for me and 3 buddies to go to see the Bears and the Eagles play back when McNabb was the quarterback for the Eagles. It was a Sunday night game. Of course, we were sitting in the nosebleed seats with the rest of the Eagles friends and family. We were the only 4 Bears fans in that whole section, but we had a great time. They had a great time. Bears ended up winning. The Bears. Anyway, so that's my stories this week for the Tattooz stories. Besides Tank, I did tattoo one other football player who was in the NFL, played for the Tennessee Titans as a safety. Unfortunately, it's been way too many years and my brain don't remember the man's name. He's a good dude. Anyway, you guys have a great day. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe. You know all that good stuff. If you do subscribe, hit that notification bell. Thanks again to everybody who does subscribe, everybody who watches. Remember to comment, like reading those comments, like answering. All right, guys. Everybody have a great day. And as always, God bless.